has been so hot. I fully feel like I have got opposite, like, what's it called? Seasonal affective disorder. I'm sure that I have that because, like, when I see that it's going to rain, I actually get really excited about it. Like, I actually get really happy. But yeah, it's just been, for me, it's just been way too hot. Like, this is so crazy because, like, I know I've said this before, but I used to just, like, train in the heat and be out in the heat all day long. Like, I would be out from like 8 or 9 in the morning all the way through until like 2 3 p.m, and I would just be out there and it wouldn't affect me. And even just like right up until right before I got pregnant, I was kind of like a freak of the sun. I used to be out in the sun all the time, like when it would have been days like this where it's just really nice and sunny. I mentioned this before, but yeah, I would have been like on my bike at like 5:30 6 in the morning, and I would have gone out to the beach. I would have gone to the beach, which was like a 10, 11, 12 kilometer bike ride away. Then I would have probably done like sit-ups there. Then I would have done 2 hours of yoga, all in like the boiling hot sun. And then I would have probably just like laid there and just listened to music for another like 2 hours and just like tanned in the sun. Oh my gosh, I feel like just the thought of that now, like just the thought of just doing one of those things for like 5 minutes just makes me feel like gagging. I am such a different person now. Pregnancy has changed my tolerance to heat so much. And yeah, it's just not something that I can cope with at all. So I've literally been like super unhappy the past few days that it's been so hot. And it makes me laugh because all of those summers that I complained about, like, oh, the weather here in England sucks, like it's never sunny, there's never a summer. All I have to say is like, just take me back. Take me back to when there's no summer and it's just raining all the time, because like I literally feel excited. Like when I see on the weather app that it's predicted to rain, or like it says like 18 degrees instead of 25, I'm just like, thank God. Because like I can't stand it. It's just so like it literally makes me unhappy. Like the heat makes me unhappy. And I don't care if I sound weird for saying that. Like I know there's other people out there that really dislike the heat. I can't cope with it. Like I just, like I'm saying, I didn't used to be like that at all, but then I got pregnant. My son's 2 years old, so I've been like this for about 3 years now. But it didn't like fully start right off the bat of pregnancy. I kind of didn't realize it until I was about 5 or 6 months in. And then with breastfeeding and everything, and I'm still breastfeeding now. I'm not breastfeeding anywhere near as often as I would when he was younger. I'm doing maybe like 2 a day. It's like maybe 1 in the afternoon and then 1 at night. So it's not like I'm breastfeeding constantly, but if you're still breastfeeding, I think like you run at like a hotter temperature and stuff. So like, yeah, basically it's just like, yeah, I just cannot deal with the heat. I'm so sorry about the laundry basket behind me, by the way. Am I sorry? No, I'm not sorry. Mom life. I've got a whole bunch of laundry and a laundry basket over there to sort out. But yeah, anyway, so in order to avoid the heat and not be a crazy person like I used to be when I was out there in the midday sun and just baking, we're not gonna do that. So yeah, basically it's like 7 a.m. and we're going to try to get out to the beach by like 8 a.m. latest, and then kind of just be there till like 11:30, maybe 12, but like basically kind of just be in the car on the way back by midday, because not only can I just like personally just, I genuinely cannot handle the heat as at that midday time. Like it's just, I feel sick, like it makes me feel sick. But I don't think it's the best for little ones either. Like it actually genuinely gets like so hot that I just don't I don't know, like I don't feel like that's the best thing for a little kid. So yeah, so we're gonna go out really nice and early, make the most of the morning and the weather, even though I don't like the weather. I don't like the heat, but we're gonna just try and make the most of it, especially for him, so he can just get out and about, enjoy being out in the water, just enjoy like his life, basically, just like do his vibe. But yeah, then we're just gonna come back and have lunch and probably stay in for the afternoon, and then tomorrow morning we're going to a really cool new like secret place, which I'm hoping I'll be able to get in the water unless it feels a little bit too cold. So today, this morning, we're just gonna head out to like more of like a local beach kind of thing, and then, well, it's not really local to us actually, it's like 40 minutes away, but then tomorrow we are gonna go to like a separate place which is also 40 minutes away, and it's almost like a, yeah, kind of like a secret way down into the water. It's meant to be really, really pretty. So yeah, we'll be going there tomorrow, so I'll show you that as well, because I did this one as like a whole weekend, whereas I usually just do like the one day, like the Saturday, but we have got the Saturday and the Sunday this time, so I put it together as like a weekend. So yeah, I'll take you to the secret spot tomorrow, but today we'll just head out and have a peaceful, chill, not too boiling hot time at the beach. And lucky for you, you can just enjoy the scenic views from the comfort of your hopefully very cool home. So yeah, let's go. So we just nipped out really quickly just to go to M&S just to get a few things for lunch. So I'm going to show you what we got. I kind of really like, I don't always go to M&S to do this, but I really like that M&S has like a really good selection of different little bits that you can have, like gazpacho and butter beans. And as a vegan, there's a pretty good choice, which is surprising. So yeah, let me show you what we got. This stuff's really good because all of these things are vegan, but they're not sold as like made for vegans. They're just like made for normal, like the normal part of the store, but they just turn out that they're vegan. So if you're also if you also eat plant-based, then you can like have these things. So this is really cool that they had gazpacho. Again, I don't usually like would ever buy gazpacho in a bottle, but as you can see, there's nothing in it and it looks like really good ingredients, so I thought I would try it. These falafels are really, really, really good. I really recommend them. But these are my absolute favorite. These are the butter beans. Like, I think it's meant to be called like some kind of Spanish butter bean thing or something like that. But yeah, I have to say, I feel like it tastes really authentic to like the kind of things like my mom used to make and stuff. So those are really good. And then I just got some crisps just because,
you can't have like a little snacky lunch without some crisps, I think. Oh yeah, and I forgot, I also picked up kimchi. So yeah, I got some kimchi as well. I was just kind of craving kimchi. This isn't really like, I wouldn't say it matches with like olives and a baguette and stuff like that, but I was just craving kimchi personally. Hello, I thought we would do our little evening catch up in here today just because we've come out just so that the little one can go out into the beach a little bit. So yeah, I just thought we'd do our little catch up just while they're out on the beach. So yeah, I just wanted to share a little bit about my birth story. I don't know if I'm gonna go into like all of the details and like share all of the stuff that happened, but it's more just to kind of share something really crazy that I've just, well, it's not really crazy, but it's almost really crazy that I've only just learned it. And so obviously I gave birth like just over 2 years ago now, but I've just now learned something about what happened during my birth. Not shortly after my birth, but I was continuously like encouraged by my midwife to go to the birth reflections, which is like a free NHS service that they help you run through everything that you've been through with your birth so that you can learn like, okay, this is how this happened, this is why it happened, this happened at this time, kind of like all the things that you just probably won't remember, and then they answer kind of like any questions that you have about everything that happened. I haven't done that yet, but I have just now felt myself being able to book in to go through it, because before, even just like the thought of having to go through it and hear what happened and stuff like that, like my hands would really start sweating. So I just really felt like I wasn't in a place where I was ready to go through it yet. but I have booked that appointment now. So what I've learned is not what I've learned from the appointment, because I haven't gone to the appointment yet. But what happened was I was able to kind of like finally start thinking about everything that happened. And like I'm saying, I learned something that's pretty amazing, and I'm sharing it actually because, like, I don't know, just in case that you were in the same situation or a similar one or anything like that and you don't know this might be a really interesting fact for you. Basically, because I was finally able to start thinking about it again, I started asking questions. Like, so my delivery was forceps assisted, so it was just like a forceps birth. Now, this entire time I actually thought that, I don't know if failed is like the right word, but a little bit I did feel like that. So it's kind of like a long story until I get to but I was like induced, and I didn't want any of that. I wanted like a natural water birth. But yeah, when I went in, I was having like a lot of really bad pains. Like all of a sudden I had a horrible pain like in my back that I could barely stand up straight. So I was like, we better go in. And I was like at my due date basically by then, or maybe like 1 or 2 days over. And yeah, I just said, okay, let's go in to check what this is, because this doesn't feel okay. Anyway, I'm not gonna get into what happened with all of that. But yeah, long story short, I was then induced because they decided that was going to be the best thing for the baby. Again, it was one of those things where I kept asking questions and I didn't really feel clear on what the danger was to the baby if I were to walk away, because apparently I was 3 centimeters dilated by then, and it seems like labor had kind of started in its own kind of slow way. All this time, because it was not a straightforward way that the birth came about, and I was induced, which is something I didn't want, and I didn't get to have a water birth, like all of these different things, I kind of felt like I'm saying, like I kind of felt a bit like, well, I definitely felt like it didn't go the way I wanted it to, obviously, but I also felt a bit like I felt like I failed or something, like my body had failed. So anyway, because I could now finally face everything that happened, not everything, but I could finally start like thinking about it, I started like researching, like, okay, how does a forceps delivery actually work? Like, what needs to be in place for that to actually happen? And I remembered like a few things from right before. I was basically like screaming for help towards the end, and I was like, I can't do this anymore, like I can't cope. And I'll tell you what was going on, because I know now what was going on, but I didn't at the time. Obviously, I didn't at the time. So I remember by then, and then again, this another thing that I didn't want was like internal examinations to see how far along I was, but because of the way that things had developed, I ended up having 3 of them, and it was absolutely horrible. But the very last one, they did it with some kind of like cream or something that anesthetized. Like, I didn't feel it when they went in to check, but by then I was literally lying on my side, and the contractions felt like an earthquake going through my body. That's what it felt like. I can't describe it any other way. It literally felt like an earthquake going through my body. I did all of this unmedicated. Sorry, it makes me emotional. Yeah, I did the whole thing unmedicated, which I realize now is like a really big deal to do. But the entire time that I was there, I felt like I wasn't doing it right, and I wasn't doing a good job. Can you believe that? Anyway, so the last, one of the few things that I remember is like that last examination before they took me into theater for the forceps delivery. And I remember that she checked and she was like, yeah, you're fully dilated, and like baby's right there. Like, and I remember her coming to my face because I was laying on my side. I couldn't move because of how heavy the contractions were. And she was like, he's there. Like, it's like that, like the tip of her finger, like his head's right there. And I was like, but so here's the thing. I realize now I was in transition. So I was in the last stage of labor before my baby was about to come out. But I didn't know that at the time. And the contractions were so strong. Like I said, they literally felt like an earthquake going through my body, and I was like, I can't do this. By then I'd been laboring for about nearly 15 hours. I remember, completely unmedicated. And by the time that these contractions had taken over my body and baby was right there, I thought there's no way I could cope with this level of contractions for another 10 minutes, let alone hours. So I was like screaming for help, like, please help me, like, get him out. I can't do this anymore. And yeah, I basically spent all this time thinking I didn't really do it myself. Like, I didn't really manage to have an unmedicated birth. Like, but now that I've learned everything about the way forceps work, it's been really eye-opening, because basically in order for them to use forceps on you, so what happened was, eventually, finally someone came around and gave me something to sign. Again, like I'm saying, I was literally laying on my side, like not moving, and I was just like shaking every time I had these horrible contractions right before my baby was obviously about to come out. I know that now, but I didn't know that then. I thought I was like gonna have to cope with that level of contractions for like hours, like I had been. But yeah, I know that now. I know that I was just about to give birth. But anyway, so someone came over, I signed some piece of paper, they wheeled me into theater, they injected something in my back. I still don't know what it is. This is why I want to go to the birth reflections, just to know what that is. And it was literally like 5 seconds and my baby was out. Like 5 seconds and he was out. So yeah, they like injected me, and then they like, you know, they've strapped my legs up and stuff, and then I can't remember everything very well because I was very, very hazy by then. But I remember these few things, like, yeah, they strapped my legs up, and then I remember someone saying like, okay, there's a contraction coming, ready, push, and I did, and that was it. They just got him out, like, and that was it. Like, they just got him out, and like, it was literally, I was in theater for like, probably like 5 minutes so that they could inject me and set me up. I don't even know if it was 5 minutes, but I know for a fact that they got my baby out in like 5 seconds because even like my mom was with me throughout the entire labor and delivery process, but she didn't come into theater. My partner came into theater, and yeah, I remember like shortly after, my mom just coming into the window and just like being shocked that that was it, the baby was born, the baby was here, our baby was here. But like I'm saying, because I've been able to kind of think about it all now and go back and analyze it, this is what I've learned. I've learned that they can only use forceps delivery when they know exactly where the head is, when you're fully dilated. And this was a huge one for me, because this whole time I was like thinking, did I make it? Did I fully dilate, like medication free? Like, did I do this? Did I labor all the way or not? You know, like basically, did I fail? There's a horrible way to think about it, and I don't agree with that way of thinking, and I'm trying to actively change that. But that was my mindset. I was like, did I fully dilate without any pain medication? Did I do it, or was I not able to do it? And now I've learned I was. So I actually made it fully dilated. And the third thing is like the baby's head. So they have to know exactly where the baby's head is. You have to be fully dilated. And the baby's head has to be at a certain station, so far enough down the birth canal that they can actually use forceps to get the baby out. So that has been pretty much life-changing to learn that, because I have just learned that yes, I labored all the way through unmedicated. I made it to fully dilated. I did it all. And my baby was about to be born, but I just did not know that because I didn't know, and I just didn't know. And I do remember them saying like, he's almost here, like keep going. And I was like, I just can't, like, I can't express to you the way those last contractions felt. I don't think there's words to describe it, like I'm saying, but like the only way that I can describe it is, like I've said, like it feels like an earthquake going through my body. That's what it felt like. So I was just laying on my side. I wasn't even making any noise or yelling at this point. I was like, that's it. All I could do was like just feel it come through me, and I was like just shaking like that. And then when it stopped, I would just lay there like that, like just that's it. And anyway, it's been really incredible for me. It's been really amazing to learn that I did do that. I did that. I fully dilated. I made it all the way until the end. I was in transition. My baby was about to be born. I did all of that unmedicated. I actually achieved that, which is what I wanted. And I've learned since then as well that the reason that my contractions were so difficult and my birth was so much more painful and all of those kind of things is because they broke my water to induce me, which was horrible. And I've learned that having your water broken makes labor like a lot worse, a lot more painful. So that was really eye-opening as well, to know like, yeah, maybe the contractions wouldn't have been that bad had my water not been broken. And because by the time I think I was told, so before they induced me, before they broke my water, they checked me, which was horrible. That was the first check they did. And they were like, yeah, you're nearly 4 centimeters dilated. So I was like 4 centimeters dilated, right? Nearly 3, 4, right? And like, the pain that I was feeling by then was, you couldn't even describe it as pain. It was like a sharp tingle going through like my abdomen area. And it was really regular. It was like every couple minutes basically, but it was really light. Yeah. So I was like, and of course, having never done it before, you don't know what that is. You don't know what you're feeling. I recognize now that I was in early labor because I've learned about it and researched about it. And even though I tried to learn about labor before going into it, I still didn't know. Like, you just don't know until you go through it. So yeah, I just wanted to share that because, well, I wanted to share a little bit of my birth story. Like I said, I haven't shared it from start to finish, like with all the details, but I just wanted to share that there's a lot you can learn from having that little bit of reflection about what happened. And even if there's stuff that you feel that went wrong or didn't go the way that you wanted, maybe it turns out that like it was either for, well, it was obviously usually going to be for the best, but it might not have been as bad as you remember it. That's something that I've realized as well by going back and trying to reflect on it a little bit. Like just things like the really bad back pain. I think I might have been having like back labor and stuff like that. So like there's just all of these like little details that by going back and having that reflection, or like allowing yourself to think about it a little bit, it might really help. Well, it will definitely really help you to work through it, which is something that I wasn't able to face anyway, first of all, because I just, like I said, like my hands would start sweating, like I couldn't face it. But I also just wasn't sure if it would help me. I was worried, like, but if I go back and I start talking about it, like it'll just bring it all back and it'll make it all like extra traumatic and stuff. But like, actually, sometimes learning more about what we've been through can be really helpful for us, obviously, to process it, but also just to understand it. And the better that we understand it, usually the more capable we are of like then working past anything that we might find difficult. So and again, like, even though the midwives would tell me that and they'd be like, it helps to work through it and stuff, I was like, no, I can't see how it's going to help. Like, it's not going to help me because it just stresses me out to think about it. But yeah, it did. Like, facing it has really helped. And then on top of that, I've actually been able to learn something incredibly positive about my entire experience, which until now I didn't know. And that is like super empowering. To me, it feels super empowering because I didn't know that I had achieved that. So yeah, I hope that you have enjoyed listening to my slightly emotional, obviously, recollection of my birth, but also some of the interesting facts about forceps delivery. If you've had a forceps delivery, maybe you also didn't know that. Like I'm saying, I had a forceps delivery 2 years ago and I've only just learned what the criteria is for the health team to do a forceps delivery on you. So yeah, like I said, in case you want to hear those facts again, they have to know exactly where baby's head is. Baby's head has to be at a particular station, so it has to be at a particular place further enough down the birth canal, and you have to be fully dilated. So if you've had a forceps delivery, it means that you have, yeah, you've ticked those boxes before that they could come in and do that on you. So yeah, lots to learn about when it comes to birth. There's so much to learn about, and every experience is so different as well, isn't it? So yeah, I think it's an incredible, unreal thing that we do as women. And it doesn't matter if you do it as a C-section, if you do it medicated, if you do however it is that you do it, we are super women for doing this. Like, well, we are just like incredible for doing this. Like, and like I'm saying, it doesn't matter how you do it, it doesn't matter how your birth happens. The fact that you were able to do that in any way that you accomplished it is incredible. Like, I don't know if women get enough like support and like love and appreciation for this incredible thing that we do, that we go through. So yeah, I just wanted to share that today and talk about it. And yeah, I hope that you guys have a amazing rest of your week. Have had a beautiful weekend as well, or are having a beautiful weekend. And yeah, lots of love, and I will see you in the next video. I'm not sharing what I've listened to this week, just because this has been such a long what's it called, like catch up basically about my birth story, that I don't want to like drag this on and on. So I'll just share what I'm listening to in next week's video. But yeah, lots of love and see you there.